and welcome to another Plan With Me episode from the Project Bag. My name's Gemma and I'm very pleased that you are taking some time out of your day to talk about bullet journaling with me. In this episode I'm going to be showing you my monthly setup. Unlike my fuss-free weekly plan, there's a mouthful, this is one spread where I like to stretch my creative wings a little, have a play, get the colours out, get a little bit artistic, and have some fun. So we're going to start with my title page. I used to spend lots of time on Pinterest looking for inspiration and shamelessly copying what other people have done if I liked it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But this month I thought I would do something completely original. So what does June mean to me? Well, it might mean a myriad of different things to you, but to me it means strawberries and cream. My garden is absolutely teeming with wild strawberries at the moment. They are everywhere. So starting off with the word hello. Nice and simple, this is writing with a little bit of a shadow around it. You take a fairly thick felt tip pen, write the word hello, or whatever word you're writing, draw around it with a contrasting, darker is better pencil or pen. I'm using a pencil this time for the simple reason that I couldn't find my pen. And when that's done, we're going to add a little bit of depth with a shadow. Just speed things up a little bit here. We could be here for a while otherwise. Okay, so I'm now grabbing a lighter pen and I'm making sure that where the downstrokes are on the right hand side of those, so the light is coming from the left, I've created a shadow. So strawberries, it's got to be cream, hasn't it? A nice big fat Cornish ware blue and white striped jug of thick country cream. Having said that, I have tried some dairy-free alternatives and they're not bad. They're passable. I used to sketch all the time. I actually took a qualification in art when I was at high school, but I've sadly let that drop since. Like many things, when you start to put a label on it and give yourself hoops to jump through, it can lose its draw and its fun. So I'm a little bit rusty. You're not going to see the finest works of art here, but I'm going to have a go. So a big jug of cream and a smaller bowl of strawberries. So I tend to slice my strawberries in half. That, as far as sketching goes, gives me a little bit more interest because I can do the flat side where it's been sliced, but I can also do the rounder side. And then we're going to have a couple of strawberries just sitting in the corner because why not? This isn't the most important part of my plan, but I think it's important to take some time out to do something that you enjoy. Now, I'm really not happy with how the word June ended up on the jug. I mean, the idea was fine, the concept was fine, execution not so hot. But you'll see why in a minute. I think maybe it's because June is typically Wimbledon month and unfortunately none of us are going to get to see it this year because of, well, there's a pandemic. Nevertheless, the sun is shining, the pottery is still beautiful, the strawberries are still red and tart, and all things good. Just going to speed things up a little bit more here. So Cornish ware has blue and white stripes, typically a darker blue, but you work with what you've got. Now instantly I started the pink, I regretted it, I do not love it. But do you know what, it doesn't have to be perfect. I decided to go over it with a blue and see what would happen, and I ended up with this deep purple, which was better, but still not what I was going for. Then I tried reversing it. So starting with the blue and then going with the pink, and that made an even stranger colour. I would love to know what the month of June means to you. So one of the things I learned when I was doing art at high school is that light is really important. And one of the techniques I picked up was this thing that I'm doing now called cross-hatching. You can see I'm shading in one direction and then changing it to go across in the other direction. And this is a really nice way of providing depth without relying on too solid a colour. Let's speed things up again. I am definitely rusty when it comes to sketching and colouring in, but I still enjoy the process. I've done exactly the same with the strawberries in the bowl. I'm starting with the deeper colours, trying to create a sense of 3D. So at this point I hadn't realised that my camera had run out of space. I'm just adding some more details to the front page here. I've been learning how to draw vine leaves and laurel wreaths, and I just thought it might present a little bit of a frame. Got my colour pencils out here. I must admit I much prefer using colour pencils to pen. There we are. I can't help fiddling and tweaking. And my pencil broke. It'll have to do. It is what it is. So at this stage I'm just faffing around with it, trying to add a bit of depth to the colour, make it a little bit less flat. I wasn't really going for a cartoon look when I set out to do this, but that seems to be what I achieved. Well, if you're doing shading, you really need to think about the curve of the object and where the light might be coming from. So at this point I just threw caution to the wind, grabbed an HB pencil and started trying to create some natural shading. And there you have it, my June front cover. Okay, so moving on now to the habit tracker. Last time when I did my weekly spread, you saw that I changed my tracker from one that I did every week back to a format I used at the start of the year, which is tracking every month. Once again, I'm using the shadow font that I did on my title page for the month. I don't have a huge range of hand lettering techniques in my arsenal, I guess. But I am enjoying experimenting, and I enjoy a sense of cohesion, so I like to try and stick to one or two styles. So I start by writing the name of the habit I want to track out in block capitals. Shading it in to make it clear it's a heading. And then write the days of the week across, Monday through Sunday. And then I write the days of the month in numerical form. So as the days pass, for each habit I achieve each day, I will colour in that day. There are lots of different ways to track habits. I find that this one is the simplest and works the best for me. I've tried ones before where you draw pretty pictures and colour in balloons, and I just don't keep up with them. I've tried to keep it simple and stick to 6 habits that really matter to me. So I want to drink my water, I want to go for a walk every day, made easier by having a puppy. I want to use my bullet journal and really make that a habit. I want to read. I want to remember to take my medication for my thyroid and vitamins and things like that. And also, I want to try and work out. Now, working out is not something that I intend to do every single day, but by tracking it on the calendar form that I'm creating here, I'll get an idea if it's becoming a habit. Now, this next page, I'm not going to do too much at it here, but I'm going to try and track my savings and my expenses throughout the month. I often flick back to see what I've done in previous months, remind myself of what works for me, what I want to bring forward to the current month, and what I want to ditch. So at the start of my bullet journal, I have every month written out as a glance, but I find it super annoying that I have to go right back to the start of my bullet journal to see what's going on in the month. So I make sure to include it here. It did take a few goes to get the layout of the boxes right this month. Quite glad the camera quality means that you can't see all the eraser lines. So each box represents a day of the week and in the month, and I just use it to put the major events. So when I'm planning each week, I don't have to flick right the way back to my bullet journal, but when I'm putting things in the diary and people are saying, oh, you know, this month, next month, I've got the calendar at the front of my journal as well. It might seem a bit like overkill, but bullet journaling is all about finding what works for you. Yeah, like I said, this took me a few goes. Okay, so now I've finally got my boxes laid out correctly. All I need to do is number them, add a touch of colour, and my month at a glance is done. There is one more thing that I added this month which is new, and that is a master hinge list. This time I'm going to tick it off in pencil each week, rub it out, start again, hopefully save some time. Well, I hope you've enjoyed looking at my monthly plan and have got some ideas for your own planning journey. I would love to see what you do. Feel free to drop me a comment in the comments. Take care, stay safe, wash your hands, don't touch your face.